The following program was funded in part by Toyota, AT&T, Baldwin Richardson Foods, Lincoln Financial Group, Apple, American Airlines. A complete list is available at thehistorymakers.org. Valerie Simpson is an R&B icon who, along with songwriter Nick Ashford, transformed American music. Their chart-topping hits spoke of love. Their natural gifts blessed our hearts and minds. The HistoryMakers, the nation's largest African-American video oral history archive, is proud to present An Evening with Valerie Simpson in honor of Nick Ashford. And now to our host, veteran PBS-TV journalist, Miss Gwen Ifill.
Tonight we are featuring one of the greatest songwriting teams of all time. Their talent, their undeniable love for each other have provided music for our souls, lyrics for our hearts, and melodies to last a lifetime. We lost him, but she still stands strong. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to An Evening with Valerie Simpson in honor of Nick Ashford, who we pay tribute to tonight.
Send it. Whatever you want, whatever you need, anything you want done, baby, I'll do it naturally, 'cause I'm every woman. It's all in me. It's all in me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Valerie Simpson of the legendary Ashford Simpson. And doesn't she look good? Oh my goodness. You feel this love in the room?
I feel the love. I surely do.
You know, you have, it's true. We're just giving you back a little bit of the love that you've been giving us.
Oh.
I probably wouldn't have gotten through college without you. I cannot share the details.
But did you have fun, girl?
I did. There are lyrics which tell the tale.
Okay.
But you know, in our minds, you were so inseparable, you and Nick. And part of it was the spirit, the soul, the smile. There was something about that man.
I'll say.
Tell
Oh,
us.
goodness. You know, I got very lucky because I did find my soulmate. I mean, he had a very special presence. And He wanted to be something special. He always said that about himself. Even, when he came from Michigan to New York, he said, I want to make a difference in New York, and he worked at it. In fact, Oprah Winfrey said to him once, she says, what does it take to put a Nick Ashford together? And he meant to do exactly what he did. He told me laughingly one day, he said, when I get dressed up and I leave the house, we live in a brownstone in New York, he said, if I get to the corner and nobody stops me, I go back home, I got the wrong clothes on. He said, I want to have a presence.
He is a man that was not afraid of his inner falsetto. We know that.
No.
But the other thing that you all produced, in addition to dozens and dozens of amazing songs that you wrote for yourselves and others and performed, were these amazing two daughters here we have with us here tonight, Nicole and Asia. The loss of Nick took so many of us by surprise because he seemed so ageless, so boundless, with no limitations. And yet, it wasn't a complete surprise, obviously.
You don't know how long any of us has. So love each other up. Yes. Hug each other. Say everything you want to say and say it now. Tomorrow's not promised. And the good thing about it is that he really did say everything he wanted to say, and I said everything I wanted to say to him. I'm loved up, the girls are loved up, and all our friends, George and T, and all of our friends got a chance to come by the house and speak with him. And even then, we thought we had so much more time. So in the twinkling of an eye, all of our lives can change. So all we can do is live to the fullest in this moment.
You shared with the world something pretty profound, and it all started in a pretty old-fashioned way in church.
Oh, yes. Yes.
What was the name of that church?
White Rock Baptist Church. I was singing with a couple of girls, and Nick was visiting from Michigan. Actually, he was homeless at the time, and somebody told him, ironically, that he could get a free meal at our church. And so he didn't come to meet me, he came to get the free meal. But we did meet after church and got to know each other, and he wrote gospel songs, which is what our little group needed, and I played the piano, so we were just like natural coming together, yeah.
I don't think a lot of your fans are aware that you started in gospel music and with gospel songs.
Oh, yes.
We have something we want to show everybody. Take a look.
To listen to gospel music, the force, the soul, the passion is to understand Ashford and Simpson.
Master, the tempest is raging.
In the early 60s, Ashford and Simpson performed with the gospel group The Followers. Then in 1964, after appearing at the nightclub Sweet Chariot, they sold their first song to Glover Music for $75. Then they became Valerie and Nick with singles on Verve and ABC labels like California Soul. The singer-songwriter duo would then move to Florence Greenberg's Scepter Wand Records, where they wrote for Ronnie Milsap and Maxine Brown. Soon, the church kids hit on something special, Let's Go Get Stoned, which rose to top 10 on the music charts.
You know my baby.
We went to the publisher the next day. We said, we wrote this great song. You're going to love this. And we couldn't remember nothing until Val sat down at the piano. We started singing, Let's Go Get Stoned. And suddenly he said, it's great. It's great. I'm going to get the song to Ray Charles. He's going to record. This is going to be a big hit.
Let's go get stoned.
Now listen.
Motown founder Berry Gordy sent Holland Dozier and Holland to New York for songwriting talent, where they found Ashford and Simpson.
They looked at each other like this, you know. You wrote these songs? I said, yeah. The lyric? Of course. The background too? Yeah. When they found out that we were a total package, they said, oh, you guys are good. We want you to come to Detroit.
There they were hired as the songwriting team for Tammy Terrell and Marvin Gaye. When Diana Ross launched her solo career, It was Ashford and Simpson that Gordy reached out to, and their song, Reach Out and Touch, rose to number 20 on the Billboard charts.
You listen to all these songs, and we kind of vaguely knew you had a hand in them all. But it's shocking when you see them all put together.
Wow.
10 hits in 10 years. And you were working with Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell and Diana Ross and everybody who was anybody.
You know, it was a very special time at Motown. It was a songwriter's dream to have that caliber of artist to write songs for. I just saw one wonderful artist out there, Martha Reeves, who we had the pleasure of writing a song for.
Martha Reeves.
So we were very, very blessed to have those artists, you know, just put that magic on songs and, you know, and give them that longevity.
Working at Motown was different. We've heard lots of different versions of what it was like. It was kind of a sweatshop for singers and writers, wasn't it?
I thought of it as college. What do I know? Because we were trained to work fast. We would go in the studio and do like 3 songs in 3 hours and get in there and get it done. Because you were up against people like Norman Whitfield, who wrote for The Temptations, they were always watching you, and Smokey Robinson. So when you went in the studio, they were all standing up there watching you. So you really had to bring your A game.
Would they sometimes actually give you the same song and see who could write it better?
Well, that's kind of what happened on Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, because at that time we decided we wanted to be producers for Motown. We didn't want to just be the writer, because we did great demos. And so Barry said, well, you know, since Harvey and Johnny have already, you know, worked with Marvin and Tammy, you do the song, Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, and they'll do the song, and whoever comes out the best will get the release. And we were lucky that our production turned out, you know, a little bit better and started out good. Wait. But Marvin and Tammy had to pay for both of them.
What was it like working for him? It had to be tougher than it seemed.
Well, it was a privilege to work for the head of the company, to be a songwriter himself, because you always got a real creative point of view. You didn't always agree with it, but you know, you got to create a point of view, and he wrote songs and he knew what he was talking about. So you could have a dialogue. It wasn't like somebody who doesn't understand the music. We always held it over his head that when we did do Ain't No Mountain High Enough for Diana Ross, his point of view was, all that talking, what is all that talking about?
At the beginning of the record.
Yeah, it's too much talking in there. You need to just get to the main thrust of the song, you know. And Nick said, no, it's like slow, it's like an orgasm, you know, you have to build. He said, I hear where you're coming from, but he said, you know, if you don't hear it like you need to hit it, then I'm afraid it's gonna, you know, have to sit in the album because it won't be a release as a single, so it didn't come out. But he did put out Reach Out and Touch, as he said, and then when the DJs heard Ain't No Mountain High Enough, they started playing it on their own. And next thing you know, it was #1. So it was kind of nice, you know, walking down the halls looking for the boss then.
Aha. If you need me, call me, you would say to him. At what point, or was this always the plan, did you go from being behind the scenes to in front of the microphone?
Well, it was like, you know, a natural progression. We started as songwriters, and then you become a producer. But all along, we were singing the demos. What really happened is our contracts were up. We spent 7 years there. And then at the end of that, you know, we did a soul show, and we got a lot of letters saying, you know, you guys ought to be singers. You know, we can see you as a couple. So we went to Barry and asked him about that, you know, the possibility of being artists. And he said yes. But, you know, it's like when you've been somewhere 7 years and they don't really see you as being the new kids on the block. So we kind of knew that they saw us as a songwriting machine. And we thought it would be the time to move was then.
Now,
and so we left.
Were you a couple at this point, or were you business partners?
We were still partners.
But not a couple.
No, not a couple.
How did that change?
Well, Nick was so slow. No. No. I am so glad it worked out that way. I'm so glad that I spent 9 years getting to know him without, trying to come on to somebody, because then he knew my real essence. He knew me warts and all, and he loved me anyhow, and that's how I knew him. We weren't about being in love at that point, but when the love hit, it was real.
So your rise and your success, sometimes that would challenge a couple. That would make it more difficult, frankly, to get along, to maintain a partnership, even if it's just a business partnership. Did you ever have challenges at that point where you thought, we're gonna have to go our separate ways?
Oh no.
Business-wise.
The business is how, that was the first part of our relationship, this working relationship. We each had what the other needed. And so therefore, that was the basis of the relationship. The love came after. So we never had a problem. If anything, we probably had a hard time making time for love because we were always working, but we loved what we did. So it was like, sometimes we have to say, okay, enough work, we just gotta, chill.
There's somebody else here tonight who really wanted to be part of this celebration and who is very close to you, is very close to all of us in our hearts. She changed her plans to come here to perform, and she's here to sing You're All I Need to Get By, Miss Patti Austin.
Oh.
It's very disconcerting to have to sing this in front of you. Like a sweet morning moon, I took one look at you, and it was plain to see you were my destiny. With my arms open wide, I threw away my pride. I'll sacrifice for you, dedicate my life to you. I will go where you lead, always there in times of need. When I lose my will, there to push me up the hill. There's no looking back for us. We got love shown up, that's enough. You're all I need to get by. You're all that I need to get by. You're all that I need to get by. Protects his nest. For you, I'm gonna do my best. Stand by you just like a tree. Dare anybody to try and move me. Darling, in you I found strength where I was torn down. Don't know what's in store, but together we can open any door. Just to do what's good for you and inspire you a little bit higher. I know you can make a man out of a soul that didn't have a goal. 'Cause we got the right foundation with a whole lot of love and determination. You're all I want to strive for and do a little more.
Now, is it just me, or has music changed? Or just that has time changed? That will live forever. It doesn't feel the same way right now for a lot of the music we hear. One of the big changes, at least in your career arc, was when Tammy Terrell passed away. Did that completely make you reevaluate the kinds of songs you were writing, who you were writing them for? Did it change what you were doing?
We were always writing songs. It wasn't, even though they were duets, the first thing is when you sit in a room and I would go to the piano and Nick would hear me play, and then he would start, a color would come and he would start to say something. Then it's just waiting for the muse to drop down and to give you something that's beyond yourself. And sometimes when that happens, you know, you don't think about who's gonna sing it. You just want to get a visitation in there. You want somebody to come and give you something special. And then after you get a song, and then you adapt it afterward. But you don't mess with the creation of the thing. And we never did. We never said, okay, we got to do a certain kind of song for a certain kind of, no. It was always like a mystery.
And you would write the song, and then afterward you would say,
this could work, this would be,
good for Marvin and Tammy, or this would be good for...
I mean, it's in the back of your mind, but you don't think about that. At Motown, there was a period where we had a whole lot of excess material, and nobody in particular to put it on, and that's how I got a solo album.
Really?
Yeah, it's an album that I'm very proud of, and there's some wonderful things on there. But it didn't really sell, you know. I don't know whether there was that much of a push behind it. Like I say, I think we were more thought of as a songwriting machine. We weren't real singers at that point. So we need room, and Nick was sweating under his arms. You know, every time he hit the stage, you know, we had towels up under him, you know. You know, this was hard work, you know. So, I mean, we had to become singers, you know. It's just not, I mean, some people are born that way, but it wasn't us. We had to work at it.
So you had to become performers. Did George Faison help along the way?
George, I don't know how we had the good sense to know that George Faison knew what we needed to do on stage, but he did. And what he would tell us, he said, now, if you do this and she does that, they're gonna holler. And he was right every time. There's certain songs he gave us certain little clues for, and they worked year after year. They worked so well until 10 years later, he said, I think it's time y'all pay me again.
In our minds, I'm sure it's true that your success was linked to the fact that you were a romantic couple. But to what degree did you see that?
Well, people, you know, thought we were up there being so romantic, but I never really thought that. I mean, I just, you know.
What?
Honest to goodness, I didn't think we were exceptionally mushy. We didn't do a whole lot of touching and feeling.
You didn't have to.
Well, you know, it was just, you know, the songs. I mean, because actually, if you get too emotionally involved on stage in the middle of singing, then you lose yourself. But, you know, there were times, and I tell you, if we had an argument, and then we tried to make up and get on stage, then it could get too real. So you don't want that. You know, there's a certain thing you have to do.
So did marriage help the partnership? Did the partnership help the marriage?
Oh yeah, we stopped making appointments to be together. It was great, yeah. I mean, really it helped a great deal, because that way anytime, you know, we felt the need to be creative, I'd hear him humming or something, or he'd see me at the piano, and then he'd just come in and we'd just get a groove going. So it really did help a lot. The marriage did help a lot.
Give us a couple of examples of things you did that we didn't know it was you.
I did a lot of background singing initially. In fact, Patti Austin and I, we were like the top divas in jingles. Oh. We made so much money singing jingles that I almost didn't have a songwriting career. I got carried away. It was so easy. Nick had to, like, you know, pull me up and say, well, look, you know, get your priorities straight. What you gonna do here? And then he went to, I'll never forget, he went to Detroit on his own, you know, being bad, you know, and then had a #1 record with Frank Wilson. Well, I was too through. I said, well, let me get my act together and get here and take care of my business. I'm not gonna lose my partner.
I guess it's time for me to introduce Patti Austin again. This time she's gonna bring the song that Diana Ross made a #1 hit, The Boss.
Oh, great.
Patti. Ashford. How about that band?
Too much.
And for love's sake, each mistake you forgave. Now, the real fans in the room know those are the first words for Solid, your biggest hit as performers. Did you see that coming?
Well, that's a very fast song that was written because Nick came in off the street and he said, I just, hit this guy's hand. He was greeting me and he said, Solid, solid, man. And he said, that feels like us. He said, solid, solid as a rock.
And it's the thing about, I think, that made that song so appealing to people, especially the people in long-term relationships, was this is what it meant to be in a long-term relationship.
All you need to do is be married to a lyricist in an argument. And they will call you out. And I can remember one night, we fussed so loud and so long until the next morning, the doorbell rang. Oh, I didn't tell you that my neighbors were Bill Cosby and Camille Cosby. The next morning, I went to the door and there was like 2 bouquets of flowers. And the note said, thanks for the 3 a.m. meeting. Let's do it again soon.
Now, you mentioned that Nick was the lyricist in this. Did you ever swap roles? Did he ever do the music and you did the lyrics? It was always divided that way?
As time went on, I would, have an idea for a song and say, what about this? And, and give him a couple of lines or something and he'd run with it. Or he would sit down, because Nick could play a pretty mean piano himself. And, and say, this is my beginning. And I'd say, okay, don't take it no further now. You got my job. And if you trust the person, and if you realize that you have a reservoir of talent, that you can dig down deeper, that you can put it aside. You can hold that idea. And if it's the best idea, it'll be the best after we try it another way. And that's what we did. We had songs that we wrote 3 or 4 different ways because Nick couldn't get satisfied. I could. I was like, I was quick to get satisfied. He always strived for perfection. So, he'd make me go one more time. Like, aren't we done with this yet? No, we're not done yet. You can dig deeper, and I did.
There is another couple that inspires us in the same way. I know them as Aja and Fantine Dantzler. You know them as Kindred, the Family Soul. And they're here to sing It Seems to Hang On.
Is it daylight? I can't tell no more.
loosely.
So exciting, so exciting. They remind me of partnerships. Other than your partnership with Nick, maybe it's like picking a favorite child, but what would you say were your favorite, most inspiring collaborations?
I would have to go with the songs that the audiences embrace the most. Songs like, you know, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, you know, has to be a favorite because it was embraced so much by an audience. And I think another favorite is one of the songs that Patti sang earlier, You're All I Need to Get By. That really has a special place in my heart.
Why is that?
I don't know, it's just, it felt like it was us. You know, it just felt like it was us.
Felt like the leaning part on each other, the support.
It was definitely us. You know, it's funny, people think that Ain't No Mountain High Enough it wasn't really a love song initially. It was Nick walking down Central Park West in New York City as a young man in the city and looking at the tall buildings and saying that they were not going to stop him from his dream. Oh. So that's where that song really came from.
It was a song about overcoming.
Overcoming, yes.
Really?
And I think that's why it resonates with so many people.
In so many different ways.
It has a full fleshed out meaning there, yeah.
You know, you had many successes, and you also had a success in a slightly varied version of what you were doing, which is you opened a musical bar / restaurant / performance venue in New York called Sugar Bar. Have you been there?
I see quite a few people in this audience that I've seen up in the Sugar Bar. I will not call names, Reuben County. Okay? Mr. Howard, I will not call names. But we've had some wonderful nights of great talent there. It was a way Nick felt. Actually, Maya Angelou is the reason for the restaurant. Coming together of sorts, of folks, you know. Nick created this place, and he decorated it and did the whole thing himself. I had nothing to do with it until it was finished. And then I was amazed that, you know, his talent reached into that area as well, decorating. And we've had some wonderful nights. Lots of talent has been launched, gone from that stage to the Broadway stage even. So it's a wonderful thing.
Was that the original idea? A lot of artists open restaurants or entertainment venues, but was your idea also to nurture another generation of talent, or did that just happen?
Well, once we put music in, that's what we wanted to do, and it was a natural happening because now I don't know where they come from or how they know, but they are there. You know, and we have, you know, a great open mic night.
Can I get a really good table if I come?
Absolutely. Put you right up. I'll put you on the stage, honey.
You don't want that. You do not want that. You see, this is my chance, so I had to go in for it.
You might catch Ray Chew. Ray Chew comes up. This is a talented man, really. I'm so proud of him. He was just a little young thing. And we were able to, you know, put him under our wing and take him out on the road, and we knew and loved his mom. And we took care of him and watched him grow and, you know, go from, like you say, from gig to gig, from the Apollo to Singing Bee to whatever, and now American Idol, you know, and there's no limit on what he can do, you know, we're just proud.
Nick is here tonight. And he was sitting here and I was asking him about what it is that the two of you accomplished that you're proudest of, what would he say?
A legacy of music that is going to go on beyond him, beyond me, and we'll just be here forevermore as a testament to what love is.
I have to ask you, how are you doing?
I have my days, you know, there are days when, you know, that are harder than other days, and that's when I lean on my daughters and my friends, and I know that God has something for me to do, and I'm just hoping that I have the strength to do it, and I know that Nick will whisper in my ear and help get me through.
You and Nick were miracles.
Oh, that's so
and I
sweet.
think that that completely sums up the way we all feel about your legacy and what you brought into our lives all these years.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Now that I've buttered you up, I know you didn't think you were going to get away without singing tonight. So may I please impose on you to assume the position at the piano?
I don't always do what they tell me to do or what they expect me to do. And I always believe, because I come from the church, that you should do what you feel. Can I get an amen? And I'm feeling something a little bit different now, so I just want to say, every now and then, I get the feeling that I've got something to say. Yeah, yeah. Every now and then, I get the feeling that I want to say it my way. And I don't want no horns blowing. I don't want the strings. I know you can play them over here. To play a melody, I don't want it. I don't want to hear the guitar strumming. Lay out, Sherrod. Don't even want no voices in back of me. Sorry. I'm not gonna use the words that rhyme. I don't want the drummer, sorry, Tavares, to help me keep time. 'Cause I don't need nobody's help. Said I don't need nobody's help to say, Julieanna, HistoryMakers, I love you. I believed in you, thought what you said was true. It didn't occur to me it was a lie. Ha ha ha, silly, wasn't I? Lost in a world like a foolish girl. I really thought you were my guy.
time you called me on the phone. You said you'd had a busy day and you would hurry home. I waited, time went by. I tried to laugh, but all I could do was cry. Silly, 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 silly. Ooh, wasn't I to think I found the love I was dreaming of? I never thought you'd say goodbye. Ha ha ha, silly, ha ha ha, silly. Oh, wasn't I silly? Ha ha ha, silly. To think that you love me, silly. Oh, wasn't I silly? Ha ha ha, silly.
Thank you so much. You know, it's amazing. Some of the songs we wrote now take on a whole new meaning to me. When I sing them, I think something altogether different. Like this one.
I've got your picture hanging on the wall, but it can't see come to me. When I call, when I call your name, by now I realize that it's just picture in a frame.
Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby.
For more information or to order your own copy of An Evening with Valerie Simpson in honor of Nick Ashford, please visit thehistorymakers.org or call 866-914-1900. The preceding program was funded in part by Toyota, AT&T, Baldwin Richardson Foods, Lincoln Financial Group, Apple, American Airlines. A complete list is available at thehistorymakers.org.